But yeah, let's see here. What is your favorite playthrough you've ever done or most proud of a playthrough you've ever been? I think most proud of a playthrough might just be Tales of Symphonia, considering that was finished off recently here. Yeah, I have 12 unspent ability points. After, what, over 2 years, just because it was a multiplayer playthrough and it was hard to schedule. And the fact that we actually finish it off after 2+ years, stayed committed, and we're never anytime along that point like, yeah, let's just call it off completely. And stayed at it. So I'd say that might be like most proud there. We're just talking about like some of the best playthroughs of the channel, and John Wildcat just asked me like, what's my favorite playthrough / most proud I've been of a playthrough, and I was just saying that might be our Tales of Symphonia series, considering we stayed committed without giving up after 2+ years. So we started that, what, like June 2022, and we finished it, what, like 2 weeks ago? Something like that? So that was a monumental thing. So I'd say that for those points. Outside of that, I'd say definitely the Minecraft series, because it's like the only series that I've actually put like a lot of editing time into as like a playthrough. All right, so that was part of the rift. I gotcha. Charles Rift Seal and ability point. Yeah, that's how those worked. Maybe I normally have my health halved, but I have like a skill that makes it so that's not the case. Sounds faintly familiar. I think my best playthrough is probably my Minecraft series. It's not finished off yet, just because it's like the amount of effort that goes into it. Like, I won't say that it's as much as like a mini video essay for each one, but ones that are time lapses are definitely like basically a very mini video essay worth of work for each of those. Am I holding the wrong button here? Yeah, it's up, not down on the D-pad. I gotcha. And that will be finished off here eventually. Just bear with me while I get stuff figured out. So if that one counts, and definitely that, because lots and lots of effort into each episode, and me actually trying to tell like a story alongside it. But in terms of just like raw playing a game start to finish on the channel here, yeah, like that definitely, because that is definitely very much a reflection of like my own content, like my own stuff that I'm genuinely making myself, rather than just me playing and adding commentary, which is still like my content, but not like my content, not a reflection of like myself. Well, apart from like, I guess my personality and commentary that I'm offering is kind of a reflection of myself, but you know what I mean? Like really putting a lot more personality into it, since I'm the one influencing the way that it goes at all, rather than just like playing through something that's been preordained for me. Like I'm the one that's preordaining here. I'm the one with the brush that's putting that together there. The Coacher CXI is raiding here. I was most certainly not expecting the Spanish Inquisition here. I appreciate the raid there, the Coacher. If I'm pronouncing this correctly, if I'm not, then please correct me here. Hopefully I'm not butchering that. Welcome on in everybody from the Coacher's stream. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because I've been playing this game since the beginning of this year. This is stream 28. I will beat this game before the end of this year. I mean, I've beaten it. I just have the DLC to wrap up. But this game just never ends, and here I am, continuing to try to finish it off. Where is the thing I'm looking for? I'm so confused. But were you just streaming, if you don't mind me asking? Was it something Assassin's Creed related as well? Was it something else? What could it have been? Your face is the one that's preordained here? Wow, sure got me there. Minecraft as a tool is fine, but can be replaced by a lot of stuff as a tool. But as a game, it's really good as a game when you heavily mod it and play with friends, is what I'd say. Like, I feel like playing it initially, there's a lot of fun that can come from the, from playing it, like, single player. But even with, like, new content added with, like, all the updates, it still feels like you're basically doing the same thing. So, like, I can find that it can be easy to, get bored at that point. Maybe one day I'll do a modded series, but I do need to finish this stuff off. Am I missing something here? Do I have to go down, like, some other path? What is going on here? But yeah, in terms of just raw playthroughs, start to finish. Okay, is it for sure in this area? Would, like, series that constitute multiple playthroughs count? Because if so, I would say, like, my Assassin's Creed series, just because I've been doing that since, like, 2020. So, like, I've been doing this for, like, coming close to 5 years now, is the case. Because, yeah, 2020... 2020, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, by the end of 2024 here, it'll be 5 years that I will have been doing this series from Assassin's Creed 1 up until what I'm playing right now. So if multiple playthrough series count, then heck yeah. Well, guys, you're a French Canadian. Okay, so a fellow Canadian. Well, I'm an English Canadian, but so fellow Canadians here is the case. I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, that's awesome. And what were you just streaming? Were you playing Assassin's Creed? Were you playing something else? What was on the stream agenda? Sure, but like the thing is, some people call it the best game ever because of mods and the community made stuff. But like at that point, you could argue Gmod's the best game ever as well, or just about any other game. Like, yeah, you can turn Gmod into literally whatever video game you want, pretty much. So yeah, if multiple games playthrough counts, that did not come out right. If series that are like multiple games in a series count, then probably my Assassin's Creed series, just because of like how much of my life it's encompassed. I don't know, just to get rid of this so it stops alerting me to it. I would say that. But in terms of just like one raw game, in terms of the fun that I've had with it, I don't know where the hell I'm going. Play Assassin's Creed Unity and Odyssey. Nice! Unity used to be one of my least favorites when it first came out, and it was a buggy, unfinished mess. But when I played it on the channel a couple of years ago, now it's like one of my favorites. I actually really like Unity now. And honestly, I'd have more fun with it if it didn't last forever. Like, I generally have had fun with this game. It's just too long. I don't know where I'm going. I'm so confused here. By the guards. Maybe I need to go in further that way past the lava or something? Is like the Western Persona games? Western Persona games? Oh, you're saying like the Western version of Persona games in terms of like how long they take. Yeah, I think Ubisoft is a Western company, right? I don't think that I know they're not Japanese. Okay, yeah, it's gotta be further in this way because it still says exploration area. But I don't think they're European. Well, that still counts as Western, technically. I have 1,500 hours on Odyssey. Oh, geez. So you've gotta be like a pro at this point. Oh, there's guys there. Uh-oh. No, I couldn't phone a friend in time. You want to get into Assassin's Creed, but like, I don't know, there's so many games with varying qualities and they all have varying opinions on them. I mean, some are pretty universally seen as amazing. Like, Black Flag is my favorite one. And I don't think I've seen anybody ever be like, oh man, Black Flag is just such a bad game. Like, I don't think I've seen that. I would highly recommend that. Like, could always do them in order for like the modern day story, but considering they basically abandoned that whole overarching plot line that they were building up to for a while, I don't think that there's much point and they should just be played individually. If you had to play one, I'd say play Black Flag / the Rebel Collection on the Switch, which is just Black Flag plus Rogue, the game that came after it. Sold as like one bundle, is what that is. That'll be my #1 recommendation. And then if I had to recommend another one, second most, Unity, if you appreciate an interesting story, I would say. If you're into RPGs like this, then Odyssey / Valhalla / Origins, I guess. This is just better than Origins, I'd say. Gosh dang it. Please. Okay, do the this, and then, here, and then I'll do the this to get my health back. But yeah, Black Flag is the one that I'd always recommend, like, no matter what. Just because Black Flag is awesome. Here, do that. My Assassin's Creed Black Flag playthrough was fun, in terms of thinking about some of my favorite playthroughs. I think that's the only multiple stream playthrough that I've done. Like, in terms of a playthrough that would take me, like, months that I did in full cosplay. Because, like, the main character of that one, Edward Kenway, I have a cosplay of him in my closet. So, I just did, like, my full... Here you are again. Dang it. I just did my full playthrough of that game in cosplay. So, anytime I wanted to stream that game, I would have to go to my closet and put on my cosplay. And then start streaming it again. So, I have done other full... What the heck? How are you up there now? I have done other full playthroughs in cosplay before, but, like, one-off kind of playthroughs where I do it in one stream. Like, Halloween events and stuff. That was, I think, the only one that I've done where it's like... Yeah, I stream it over and over again. It's a decently long series, and anytime I want to stream it, I gotta go to my closet and put on my cosplay. So that one was kind of unique playthrough there. And kind of fun. I want to kick you into the lava because it's funnier. Or magma because it's underground. Here, get over here. Wow, you sure are noisy, aren't you? Come on, where are you going? Oh my god. Alright, well maybe I'm not kicking him into the lava after all. Maybe never mind. Ow. Oh, I'm on fire now. Oh, man. Yeah. Is there a universal opinion that wasn't negative? for Assassin's Creed. Their Black Flag is the only one you've seen a universal opinion. Literally the only one, or at least a universal opinion that wasn't negative. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so Black Flag is the way to go. And then all the other ones is like, it depends on what you like, I guess, and what you're looking for in one of the games. But yeah, Black Flag is probably like the most safe kind of recommendation. Yeah, I've got all legendary equipment here, is what I've got on. My stuff is all AO good. Yellows all around. Yeah, let's see here. Goddamn, still nothing compared to your 4,000 plus hours in RPG Maker MZ. Yeah, that's still pretty crazy. Black Flag is easily the best AC game. Oh yeah, easily, I would argue.
Even if this doesn't bring
Like, Black Flag is so good.
We'll make new ones together.
Is it? Are you sure? Like, I guess it depends on the armor. I'm sure that there is some sets that are better. But I kind of like the bonuses that come with some of this. That's what I have all my skills set up on and stuff right now. Were you proud of your Xenoblade series when you made that? Oh yeah, like it definitely was. That was one of the very unique approaches that I took. So, in terms of the Xenoblade story, 1 and 2 canonically take place at the same time, where like the final boss battle of Xenoblade 1 is happening at the same time as the final boss battle of Xenoblade 2. Like, they canonically take place simultaneously, and with worlds that do have like a slight effect on one another. So because of that, I decided when I played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, I would play them together. So my Xenoblade 1 and 2 series went on at the same time, and I went about it in such a way that, this isn't the right way, that I would play them in an order that made sense for like the story, for you to piece together things about the other as it went on. So I put a lot of time into like planning out how that was going to go, and I played through them simultaneously in a way that I felt like would be like an ideal way to experience a story. So I was definitely proud of that for that reason. I feel like my content back then also kind of sucked, and I had a lot of the point parts, because when I was planning out exactly how the story would go, I also decided like, all right, this part is going to be this part of Xenoblade 1, this part is going to be that part of Xenoblade 2. And whenever I did like anything fillery, I always did like point parts, is what I did. I appreciate the follow there, the Couture, CXI. Couture, or however it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. Hopefully it's all a-okay. So like, from like the storytelling perspective there and like the order, I think that it's pretty cool. But like my content wasn't super great back then. And then also Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition came out later. So I later had to come back to, I wanted to still maintain that same order. So I made another playlist that had my Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition series take over all the parts of like the original version that I played previously. So I needed to have all the parts line up, and anywhere that it didn't, and I did something extra because I 100%ed Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition as opposed to just playing it through like I did the original. It resulted in me having a lot of point parts, is the case. So there's lots and lots of different playlists you can find at this point for ways I've handled Xenoblade. Oh, I gotta open Discord because I didn't open that since the most recent power outage. So yeah, I would say that I am still kind of proud of that. Whoa, that's a new badge I haven't seen before. What the hell is that? September 2024. Oh, that's the badge for September 2024? I don't think I bothered to get one. How's Acoustic doing today? I'm doing pretty alrighty. I have a whole bunch of life updates that I'll probably share here shortly, because I always do that when I'm streaming Assassin's Creed. But we're talking about playthroughs right now, and some of the spiciest playthroughs done on the channel. And we were just chatting about Xenoblade here. Let me see here. Here is sewing on French. Is your sewing on French is your second name, so I should just refer to you as sewing, or because if so, then I can refer to you as that. Of course, the first AC game you played was Black Flag. Amazing first choice there. Not because you gifted a streamer 5 subs in September. Are you saying you're cheating on me? No. Let's see here. So in terms of Xenoblade stuff, it was hit or miss back then. Like, my audio quality sounded like I was giving an emergency broadcast for the moon, from the moon, especially like some of the really early stuff. Like, it's, I don't know. Call you Tony. All right, Tony it is then. Let's see here. So Xenoblade. Yeah, so if I look at the series in general, the initial way I handled it, sorry, I thought it was an open relationship. Well, it's not. You're not allowed to go check out other content creators. Where this is what I did initially. Look at my thumbnails, how crappy they were back then. No back shadow on the numbers, no consistent placement. I had the title down here, number up here for that one. Like, what a weirdo. I would no back shadow and makes the white numbers hard to see on a white background. Like, what the hell was I doing? But I did it like this, so it's like, here's 3 parts of Xenoblade 1, And then I did like 3.5 hours of side questing. So this was part 3.1. And just 3.5 hours of side questing. And then, like, anyone that's watching this that just wants a story can just do this. And then skip this and see this. And that was my idea there. And, like, I planned out what each part was going to encompass. Which is why this is like 20 minutes and then this is an hour 45. And it was a little bit of a mess. But I was pretty proud of like my plan for putting it all together. There's like 2 sessions of just side questing. So I guess this was 2 separate streams then. So point 1 and point 2. So that's what I did there. And I had like an exact plan. So I knew ahead of time exactly what part it was going to end on. And Xenoblade 1 ended on like part 85. Because then at that point in Xenoblade 2, there's stuff that means something only if you've beaten Xenoblade 1. So I did that and then ended like the DLC, which is like the prequel story at part 125. So it's like now you have the full picture of like Jin's story here. And then you finish off Jin's story immediately after and like the present. So like I think I had a pretty cool plan going on there. But then Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition came out. And I was like, all right, I gotta make another version of this same playlist. But with this as like the stand-in case someone wants to see this same series in the same story order, but with Definitive Edition as the stand-in. So that's the way that I did it. Like this playlist right here is just everything the Xenoblade Chronicles on the channel in the order it was done, but the parts are handled the exact same way then. So here's part 1, 2, 3 with basically the exact same length as before, even though I was getting a lot better with my part lengths by then. I had to keep it consistent just for that. And then here's part 3.1 yet again. Not as long that time. There's not as much stuff that I wanted to do. And then because I was trying to 100% it, there was a lot more point parts that time. So it's like, here's part 8.1 of just spending 2 hours, 20 minutes doing side questing around there. Here was a lot of point parts. Like here's a 2-hour session of side questing. Here's another 2-hour session of side questing. Here's an 1.5-hour session of side questing and then continuing. Because I was 100%ing the game. So there was a lot of these point parts. Because even though I wasn't really doing point parts all that much at this point in my channel history, I had to keep these parts consistent with like the part numbers of my Xenoblade 2 series for like the stand-in there. So this went up to point 8. Look at all these sessions I did running around side questing. Because I was 100%ing this game. I technically didn't 100% all the achievements, but like who cares? Those are just grinding. Just defeating like so many enemies and stuff like that. So technically 99.9%. The furthest I ever got with point parts was 20. Here's 63.9. Oh, maybe I was starting to average these around half an hour for like better consumability at that point or something. I don't know what the hell I was doing. This went up to 0.6. This was the one where it went up to 20. Because this was like, once you get to this point, this is the point of no return. This is where you have to go all the way through to the end of the game with no stop. So this is the point where I had to go and do everything else that I had left. So part 81, this was the time afterwards to go around doing everything else in the game. So if I click on something like this, there's all sorts of playlist options here. Let's see. Come on, load. Load the thing. I can pause that. I hit the next button. Gosh dang it. Pause. And then see more here. There's like all sorts of different versions of like playlist options here. Hey, 1.20 is ridiculous. Yeah, I had to for like the consistency. And the part 81. Gosh dang it. I was trying to click the pause button and then like the back button load and then gosh dang it. Yeah, so there was that. Part 81.20. The best part. Every heart-to-heart, just 3 hours of that. What the hell is Shorts recommending me? So there's lots of options here. Where there's 1, 2 Torna Future Connected series of like my plans with this. Here's the playlist of just this. Here's the 2019 original of that. And then like here's just the playlist of the original game, playlist of 2, playlist of the Torna DLC. This didn't become the overall playlist, right? Because sometimes I rename things and turn this into a general thing. Yeah, so this is my 2019 version of doing Xenoblade 1 and 2 together. But then here's my updated version of that, where it just has the definitive edition thing that I did like the following year as a stand-in. So you can see like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and just jump back and forth. So this is literally just like the stand-in for that, where it's like, yeah, here's like the slightly better and cleaner thumbnails, and then like the worst ones, and then like the better and cleaner thumbnails by a bit, and then the worst ones, and back and forth and back and forth. So I feel like the original version of this would probably flow cleaner, because the order that is in the playlist in the original one is the order that it happened in real life, and I could chat about that as it went on. Whereas this is like, you're jumping between parts that are like a year difference in terms of real life. So I'm doing this series not knowing what the hell I was talking about during this anymore. So, I mean, maybe that makes it more interesting and more fun. But yeah, that was a, that was certainly something there. No, dismiss. I'm good here. Let's just see here. I think it's crazy that Xenoblade 1 heavily focuses on the future, Xenoblade 2 heavily focuses on the past, and Xenoblade 3 heavily focuses on the present. Yeah, that is pretty neat there. Thanks, now I have hours of stuff to watch. You missed that playlist of Xenoblade there. Yeah, and that's not, the different versions of that aren't ones that I have on this page. I just have like the individual playlists and like the overall thing of everything that I've done in Xenoblade Chronicles in order. But if you go into the descriptions of anything 1 and 2, you can find linked the versions of 1 and 2 collectively. Either the original one from 2019 that did the original Xenoblade 1 together with 2, or like the definitive version that I did later that just replaced the original one. Like it's a bit of a mess. So I am kind of proud of that, but like, yeah, I don't know. This was another multiplayer one that, or 3D World was at least, I'm kind of proud for finishing off. But in general, I feel like if Xenoblade Definitive Edition were to come out today, you would have redone everything if you had the time, that is. Just because I'm so passionate about Xenoblade. I mean, I thought that I would 100% Xenoblade 3, and I just never really got around to it. Though that also takes longer, I think. In general, in terms of ones I'd probably be, like, the proudest of, or, like, some of my favorite series is, the 24-hour Cherry Stream 10 was a big one, and, like, really, really wacky with the randomizer. That's probably one of my favorites that I did. Oh, that's a real hitter right there, let me tell you. That was a good one. What are some of my favorite playthroughs that I've done? If I just scroll through here and see them over time. Oh, the Breath of the Wild one, for sure. Like, the Age of Calamity and Tears of the Kingdom one, they're pretty standard. They're just regular standard playthroughs of mine. But the Breath of the Wild one, because I haven't 100%ed Breath of the Wild before, but I did do all shrines, like, before I was a content creator. Because I started at the beginning of 2018, so the Switch had already been out for, like, the better part of a year at that point. So I had a decent bit of experience in Breath of the Wild before I played it on this channel. So I wanted to mix things up. So I learned how to break this game in two. So in terms of like my raw game knowledge, in terms of like how good I am at like a game, Breath of the Wild is probably like the game that I'm best at in terms of like my technical knowledge and stuff that I can do. I made it my goal to break this engine in half. And that's what I did. And I was trying to like learn new tricks between sessions and come to like new sessions with like new glitches. Like you can literally see in the thumbnail, like here I am like clipped glitching out into like the horse stables. Here I am flying towards a tower because I just launched myself. Here I am with like a guardian on a boat that I used to turn into a spaceship and I flew across Hyrule with a guardian at my side. Like this is probably one of the best playthroughs I've ever done right here. Like maybe I should put that at number 1. Just because, like, I took so much time to, like, learn how to bust this game in two. So definitely Breath of the Wild, I would say. I never bothered to do that with Tears of the Kingdom. Like, that was, again, a very standard playthrough. But Breath of the Wild, I snapped that game in two. This has gotta be one of the best playthroughs I've ever done. Like, it was so wacky. I did a one-off session during a 24-hour charity stream where I tried to learn how to speedrun the game in, like, 3 days. I think that's where it stemmed from, is I wanted to have something special to do for the 24-hour cherry stream too, and I knew that Breath of the Wild could be beaten pretty fast, so I took a span of like 3 days with no real experience in speedrunning it to try to learn the speedrun. And so I did it, and I was like, I'm just gonna try to beat it in one session and just showcase the glitches, not try to get like an actual amazing time. So I spent like an hour running around the castle and just getting all the loot that I could to like make it as easy on me that I could. And, so it wasn't really the best speed run per se. So I did that as a 10-part series and then beat the game. And I was like, okay, eventually I'll come back and do like a proper playthrough where I really do a lot of content of the game. And then that's what I did a decent bit later. I played on master mode to like challenge myself a bit more. And then I just snapped the game in two. So Breath of the Wild, absolutely, is what I would recommend there for one of the best playthroughs I've ever done. I've just made 81 a single long video, but I'd have to piece together like so many different streams at that point. Yeah. Let's see here. Heck, wouldn't be surprised if you did it to include 3. Wait, for a Xenoblade 3 there? I thought you were gonna say you did all Koroks and you were gonna say no fucking way. Nope. I did all shrines back when. Did I do all shrines on the channel? I think I did. Oops, I already have this open. I think I might have, considering I wanted to break the game in two. And my goal was to do, like, as many shrines in the unintended way as possible. This was one that I keep on coming back to from time to time between Age of Calamity. Did I get up to 120? Was that as far as Breath of the Wild got? Yeah, I think so, because here I start Tears of the Kingdom. So I think 120 was the last one I did. I might not have done all shrines, but I did most of them at least. And I did some really, really wacky challenges along the way, some of which were brutally hard. I think the hardest challenge I did, it was somewhere around here. Where was it? It was in the early 100s. I think it was part 102, actually, now that I think about it. This would have been easier if I just pulled up the Breath of the Wild on its own playlist, but I just clicked the Hero of the Wild trilogy playlist, so, nope, that's... I had numbers really big back then. Where's part 102? Here it is. So I spent 2 hours failing this challenge over and over again, and then 50 minutes was the successful attempt. This is one of the wackiest challenges I've ever done on the channel. I did it after seeing, like, some other people on YouTube do it, so I knew it was possible. And, so this is, like, the beginning of, like, a new attempt. Oh, my audio quality didn't sound super great. I mean, it's the same microphone. Maybe I just don't like hearing my own voice. I don't know. But the challenge here was to, like, clear all the trials on this island without touching the island. And by touching the island, like, you start the proper challenge. The moment you touch the island takes away all your gear on the spot. And the challenge is supposed to be doing all the challenges here without having any of your gear and needing to start from scratch is the idea of the challenge of this island. But if you complete all the challenges just without ever making contact with the island, like, that's a thing that's possible. So if you're on a raft, it doesn't count you as touching the island, which basically means you need to get around the entire island with, like, just moving the raft around, and it's awful. So that was super crazy. So I always try to do things in, like, crazy unconventional challenge ways like this. And I specifically made the final boss a lot harder on me by breaking Link's back before I went in there, as you can see here, as he's riding the motorcycle like that. So I specifically used a glitch to break his rotation, and it's really easy to undo this glitch. Like, the easiest way is just picking up an item. The moment you pick up an item, it undoes this glitch. So there's several things that I had to be really careful not to do to not undo it, because I wanted to do the final boss while this glitch was active. And it made the final boss harder. Because the Link wouldn't actually hit him sometimes, especially at this angle. Link would hit, like, up here. So if the final boss was in front of me, it wouldn't actually make contact. So it did make it harder, and it also looked really goofy. So yeah, I think Breath of the Wild is probably one of, if not my favorite playthrough I've ever done on the channel. Pepsi Man was goofy. I did that as a joke while waiting for Fire Emblem Engage, joking that the protagonist from Fire Emblem Engage looked like that, because I needed to wait a few days after launch before getting my copy of the game, so I did Pepsi Man. So that's like a fun one-off one, and that game was actually kind of challenging towards the end. This one I really liked as well, Snake's Revenge Metal Gear 2. It's so goofy. Like, it's not canon. It's something that they thought would be a hit to Western audiences. So they made, like, super swole Snake, and he's even more buff in game. Like, that game just gets a kick out of me. I don't know. I think Breath of the Wild, like, if we're not counting ones that I put a lot of editing time into like that, I think Breath of the Wild might be my favorite playthrough I've ever done. Just because of, like, trying to break it in two. This one was really funny as well. This was another one-off session. Anima recommended I play this game during Mad Lad May. This game was actually really funny. I really enjoyed it. This game is just ass. I did the Sly trilogy, every single game on, like, a birthday for, like, several years, so it encompassed, like, several different years of my life, I guess. This one was really good. I haven't done that many multiplayer playthroughs on the channel, but this is one that I did. I reached out to a bunch of content creator friendos, like, hey, you want to play Pikmin 2 with me? And I don't remember where I got the idea. Like, nowadays, if I was playing Pikmin 2, I would just play it single player, because it is primarily a single player game. I had to do, like, a mod that makes it go up to 4 people. Like, I don't know if you can do single player, or at least up to 2 in the main campaign. I think you can. And I kind of wanted to show that and play with more people with, like, a mod. So we brought it up to 3 people, and I got, like, 2 of my content creator friendos to hop in. And we actually coordinated this pretty well and got through it all. And there was a decent few laughs to be had along the way. So that one was pretty good. I really enjoyed the Pikmin 2 playthrough playing it with a couple other nerds. Apart from that, I don't know. I mean, this one was really funny. It was very on and off, but I beat Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword on Hero Mode, the hardest difficulty, using a Cabela's Wiimote rifle as my controller. So if I wanted to hit the B button, I had to pump the barrel, and I had to swing the whole apparatus, and it was a little bit of mayhem, but, like, my content was also really shit back then, so, I mean, like... Yeah, I think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, Pikmin 2, and, like, some one-off ones like There Is No Game and Pepsi Man, just for, like, how silly they are, or Stanley Parable's another funny one, are probably some of my favorites. Honestly, this is one of my favorites, too. Snake's Revenge Metal Gear 2. It's so goofy. Those are probably some of my favorite playthroughs done on the channel throughout the years. But if I had to name, like, a single playthrough, not counting Minecraft, like, just only counting the ones that actually are just playing that game start to finish, not putting in any editing time, then probably Breath of the Wild, I would say, is probably my favorite playthrough that I've ever done. And I have a love-hate relationship with Breath of the Wild. I think its gameplay is really fun. I think its story and music is shit. Well, that's not quite entirely true for what I believe, but, like, that's a short version.
Do you remember?
But just for trying to remember to break the game.
Cassandra?
And, like,
Yes.
some of the tricks are basically muscle memory to me at this point.
Good, Phoebe.
Like extended shield clips. Like, I wouldn't be able to do one right away, but give it a couple of goes and I'd be able to get it, I feel like. If I ever wanted to learn how to speedrun a game, it'd probably be Breath of the Wild. Because I already have, like, a lot of the technical know-how behind it. And if someone asked me to, like, speedrun Breath of the Wild right now, I wouldn't be able to do it, like, professionally. But I could probably do it in, like, a few hours, yeah.
I screamed your name.
At least 2 hours, something like that, probably 2.5, maybe.
You didn't come.
Oh, this is when Phoebe died.
See their masks. I can feel their knives. Where were you? I'm here now. I'm here. Everyone just left me. My parents, Marcos, Aspasia, even you? What was wrong with me? Wasn't I good enough?
Nothing is wrong with you.
Phoebe, there's nothing wrong with you. Adults are selfish, stupid. They don't realize how incredible a girl like you is until you're gone. What do you mean?
Tell me what you remember.
Why don't you tell me what you remember?
Because it's gonna go down this
Pericles was dying. Everyone
plot line
was
anyway.
sick, yet needed to get out of Athens. I thought I was alone. I was always alone. And then... I'm so sorry, Phoebe. Where are the Golden Fields? You mean Elysium? I was there. It was beautiful. But I came here to find my parents. You traveled to the underworld to save your family. That's very brave. Just like you went to find yours. But mine still need me. I should go to them. Phoebe, you've been through a lot, and you've never met your parents. It's okay to be nervous. I was nervous to meet mine. I wouldn't be nervous if you came with me.
Where are your parents?
Go anywhere? Where are your parents? I was following a clue. It said, those parted from their beloved are doomed to the Ixion wheel. Maybe I'm their beloved.
How are you
Sure you're
feeling?
okay? No. But Amistios taught me to always be brave, even when I'm feeling down. So I am being brave.
When did you get to Elysium?
Elysium can be a difficult journey. Do you know how long you were there? I woke up on a boat. Everything was cloudy. Then there was light, and golden fields, and waterfalls. Only the bravest warriors are allowed there, you know. Descending to the underworld is proof that you deserve your place among them.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll come with you.
It will be an honor to be there for you when you meet your parents.
What was that mouth animation? What the hell? But yeah,